Wow, I'm really excited to be here. I'm really excited. One, Steve, thanks for talking me up. I feel like I'm gonna disappoint you guys. You really talked me up there. Before I even start and even talk about myself and what I do and what's going on, I just want to say you guys have the best pastors, 100%. Give it up for uh, Steve and Christina are the type of people when I'm around them and, I'm hanging out with them, I'm at their house. When I'm driving home, I start to think to myself, you know what? I'm more of a jerk than I think I am. I'm like, they're the people you get around. They don't judge you. They don't convict, they don't put anything towards you. They just live life and they're kind to people, like extra kind. And you're driving home, be like, you know what? I could be a jerk sometimes. You know what I mean? There's things I need to work on here. Just the life that they live and they love and care for people and they serve people well, it convicts you. And you guys literally, I don't say this at every church I go to, but I definitely, with honor, you guys have the best people I know. Give it up for your pastors. As Steve was saying, I am a missionary with Chi Alpha, and I have a picture of my family as well. That's a great one. The picture you guys had before, great picture. I don't know where you found that one. I was like, wow, like that. But this is also a picture of me and my family. My wife. Okay, I am from Long Island, New York. That's why I'm a Knicks fan, and I actually went wild last night. You know what I mean? And but my wife is from Arkansas. Think about that for a while, okay? Yeah, there is a God. You know, you came here this morning and be like, God, do you exist? Padow, okay? Okay, so for me, I gotta be honest, yeah, man, when I was looking for a wife, I had high standards. I had very high standards. My wife happened to have very low standards. So this worked out. It just meshed very well. The Lord just put it together. All right, and as you can see, we have 3 girls. Eliana, our oldest, Lila, and Lena. And yes, so I always say, this is a constant joke I tell. Okay, God's called me to campus ministry. All right, I've been at Missouri State around 20 years now, serving that campus. God has called me to reach the university. He's also called me to be a dean of women. It's called my house. All right, I run a women's dorm, guys. That's what I do, all right? I've learned how to respond in sounds. Aww, wow, come over here, all right? I've learned, this is great, I've been learning, all right? And they're amazing, they're strong women, man, and they go for it. A lot of times I'm like, all right, Lord, use that to smuggle Bibles somewhere, you know what I mean? You're gonna use that one day. They're amazing, and my wife does ministry with me at Missouri State, and the Lord has blessed us tremendously. And as Steve said, I am a missionary with Chi Alpha, but one of the things we do at Missouri State is that we do mission trips. This year we did 9 mission trips. We sent around 100 students on mission trips throughout the world. Right before I spoke our Ohio District camp this last week, I was in Jamaica working with Jamaica Teen Challenge there, and we believe in missions, and we also believe in teaching students on how to connect with giving, how to give to the unfortunate, how to do what Jesus did here on earth. And one of those things connects us with Feed One, Convoy of Hope, and we help out. So we do a disc golf tournament every year. We also do conferences, and we go up, I present Feed One, and we give towards that. Every $10 you give feeds a child for a month, and we do that as a ministry. And because of that, Convoy of Hope, Feed One reached out and says, hey, Andy, you have done this for so many years. Now I look at maybe around 15 years I've been working with Feed One. Can you help us just share the vision and connect with people on why Feed One works and how amazing it is. And here's the thing, it is a powerful ministry that they do to literally give resources throughout the world. I think they're up to feeding around 500,000 kids throughout the world. And I've seen it with my own eyes. It's absolutely amazing. And that's why Missouri State Chi Alpha gets behind it. Many Chi Alpha ministries get behind it. And I'm so excited to be sharing about Feed One and what Convoy Hope does. And here's a quick video that explains a little further what Feed One does. I love that slogan that actually came from Mother Teresa, and it was this, when Hal Donaldson was talking to her, he met her in India years ago when he was actually a publisher for the Assemblies of God, and he talked to Mother Teresa, and she looked at him and said, hey, what are you doing to feed the poor? What are you doing to help? And he's like, I'm not doing much, and I don't know if I can help everyone. And she says, well, you can at least feed one. And this whole concept of, hey, we can't feed them all, but we can feed one. We can save one. We can help one. And Convoy Hope, Feed One, does this throughout the world. As you can see, the countries that they impact. And you know what? We can't keep up with the editing of the video. There's more countries that are being impacted, and there's more students. We're hitting the 500,000 mark right now, and God is moving. God is doing a great work, and he's using Feed One to do this. And me as a ministry, I'm a part of Chi Alpha. We have seen that great work. And, this whole thing is connected to the concept of when Jesus came on this earth, he cared for people. He fed the poor. He healed the sick. It was something that he constantly did. And when you look at the gospel, there's something powerful about the gospel. That the gospel Jesus chose, God chose to interact with us through words that would be relational terms. God used terms like, I am your father, right? You are my children. These are terms that are relational terms that, in a sense, wasn't used as much in the past, right? He chose to do that. He could have said, you are my subordinates, and he's God. You can be like, yeah, I'm really not going to argue with that, right? But he chose these relational terms to interact with us. And that's very powerful. And I always say this, the best way to understand the Bible, it's great, the historical references. It's great looking at the language. These are all powerful ways that help the scriptures come alive. But the best way, I feel, to understand the Bible, and this needs to cover every research you do through the lens of a relationship. The best way to understand the Bible is through the lens of a relationship. Why? Because what Jesus did was a relational move. We had the law, right? We had the commandments. We had around 600 laws, but they were not enough until a Savior came down to earth, right? Came down to earth and established a relationship with mankind. And this is powerful because relationships move us. There's so many things we do in life because of relationships. We find ourselves doing things that we normally wouldn't do because of a relationship. If you go out and watch a movie, there's a lot of times that a bunch of your friends or your kids or something like that, I want to go watch this movie. I want to go watch this movie. You find yourself in a movie theater watching a movie that you did not like, that you do not connect with. At the end, you have turned to your kids. You have looked at your friend and you said, that is time. I will never get back. Thank you very much. Right? But you did it because you have friends. This is common. This is things that we do. Some of you go to sports games, right? You go watch football, baseball. You can't tell the difference between a touchdown or home run. You have to check with the person next to you if it's time to cheer. Was that good? Run! Continue to run. Yes. Right? Cheerleaders exist because of you. Okay? I don't need to know when to cheer. Okay? I know the rules here, okay? My team is doing well, I cheer. They don't, I complain and blame the refs. Listen, I know the system. I know how this works. Okay? You've gone to games holding up signs. And you don't know what's going on, but what? There's your granddaughter. There's your grandson. And you've connected with this. And you couldn't imagine not being there. You don't care about sports. You care about the person. Some of you guys, you've been to recitals. You've been to plays. You've sat down and you've waited for that one part of your granddaughter or nephew or friend, child of a friend to walk out and say, anybody wants any tea? And you're like, you clapped. And after you'd be like, when you walked out and said, does everyone want tea? I felt like I wanted tea. You did a great job. Phenomenal job. Right? You've gone to recital and you've heard renditions of songs that you never thought you would hear, and have heard obscure instruments that you never thought you would hear, like the piccolo. I don't know if you're familiar with the piccolo. I wasn't in band, but I found out about the piccolo. If you don't know what a piccolo is, it's a flute that a hobbit will play, okay? You can't jump in a band with a piccolo. You'll be like, hey, heard you got a bass player. You need a piccolo player? What's up, my dude? Right? But you have sat through them. Why? Because you have somebody you love. You've become a football expert, a baseball expert, a color guard expert. You have become an expert of staying in hotels, of staying overnight, of going to conferences. Why? Because of somebody you love. It has influenced your life. And even for some of you guys, you have felt the hurt and the pain of you have taken on a business, or you have taken on a calling, or you have taken on something in your life, and you haven't had the support of your loved ones. And you have even felt the pain of that. Why? Because relationships move us. Relationships are important in life. And there's things that we should do for the people that we love and we care about. You see, and when Jesus walked this earth, he made it very clear about the things that were very important to him. And he constantly talked about these things. In fact, in Matthew 22, verse 35 through 40, there was a great question that was asked to Jesus. Powerful question. The intentions were wrong, but the question, right on, okay? It says, in verse 35, it says, one of them, an expert in the law, tested him with this question. Teacher, which is the greatest commandment in the law? Jesus replied, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul, with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. The second one is like this. Love your neighbor as yourself. All the laws and the prophet hang on these two commandments. Wow. This is a great question. You got to understand, around 600 laws and commandments. You know what I mean? I would have probably gone up to Jesus and be like, dude, can you just narrow this down to one? I just need to know one. Okay? And Jesus told him. Jesus said, love the Lord of God with all your heart, soul, and mind. Awesome. But he shares a second one. Why? The man asked for one. Jesus shared two. Was Jesus into infomercials before they came out? You asked for one commandment, but for a limited time, you will get two commandments. You know, here's the reason, is that you can't separate them. You can't separate them. You can't say you love God and hate people. You can't say you love God and treat his children like trash. It does not work. It's like saying, I love swimming. I love swimming. I just can't stand getting wet. It's not going to work. Guess what? You don't love swimming. Right? You can't separate them. If you say you love God, you love people. You care for people. And you go out your way to do so. But we understand this in relational terms. We understand this in life. If somebody came up to me and said, hey, Andy, I really like you. I think you're funny. You're a great guy. Really like you. Love to hang out with you more. I just want to make it very clear. Keep your critters away from me. I don't like your kids. All right? So when I say, hey, come hang out, just you, not your kids, just want to make it very clear, can't stand them. Listen, then you don't like me. You hear what I'm saying? That would be unacceptable in any other setting, but there's sometimes we go up to God saying we love him and we treat his children like trash. These relational things move us through life. And we see in moments that we do things for people that we care for that we don't normally do in life because we care for them. Guess what? I like to go to playgrounds because I have 3 daughters. But if you think about it, right? I often, when, my wife is out for the day or she goes on a retreat or she does something with the ladies at Chi Alpha or things like that, and I have the kids, we're like, what playground we're going to go to? And we try to go to every playground in Springfield. And we do this, and we explore, and we rate them, and it's fun. But if you think about it, if I didn't have kids, I wouldn't go to a playground. Like, when I have a guy's night out, like, yo, what's up, fellas? What we going to do today? Nobody raises their hand and be like, I haven't hit the monkey bars in a while. Let's work our way over here. No, I wouldn't. The only reason I am there is because I have kids. And if you think about it, if you're at a playground, you're an adult, and you don't have kids, stay away from my kids. You know what I mean? Let's just. The only reason I find joy of being there is because I have kids. And this is something that we constantly interact with. Why? Because relationships move us. Relationships move us. And Jesus was very clear with his disciples on his heart and his intentions while here on earth. There was a moment in John chapter 21 where Jesus was talking to his disciples. And this moment was just a powerful moment in Peter's life. Peter, Jesus gets crucified. It's just this tragic moment. Peter has this moment where the pressure's on, right? And there's people accusing him, and 3 times Peter denies Jesus. There's people that come up to him and says, hey, you're one of the disciples, and he says, no, he's not. And by the 3rd time, he's cussing them out, and he's denying Jesus. And then the rooster crows, which was an indicator that Jesus said to Peter even before that, and Peter has this moment where he realizes what he has done. The disciples, after Jesus gets crucified, just go back to what they know doing. They know how to fish. They go back to fishing. They're out there. They're fishing. They're doing what they know to do. And while they're out there fishing, they're not doing good. They're not doing a good job. They're like, aren't we good fishermen? What are we doing? It's not working out. And there's this moment where somebody from the shoreline yells out, hey, cast your net on the other side. And they have this moment when they pick up all the fish from the boat, and literally the nets are full. And Peter realizes, he connects to the moment that he met Jesus, and he realizes that it's Jesus on the shoreline. And he has this kind of Forrest Gump moment, where I like to call it, where he noticed that it's Jesus, the nets are full, and he's like, Jesus, and just runs off the boat. Starts swimming towards Jesus, leaves the fish behind. Goes up to Jesus. They have this amazing moment after they eat their food where Jesus talks to Peter. And it's this powerful moment that they have in John 21, verses 15 to 17. When they had finished eating, Jesus said to Simon Peter, son of John, do you love me more than these? Yes, Lord, he said. You know that I love you. Jesus said, feed my lambs. Peter, do you love me? Yes, Lord, you know I love you. Feed my lambs. Again, in verse 16, it says, again, Jesus said, Simon, son of John, do you love me? He answered, yes, Lord. You know that I love you. Jesus said, take care of my sheep. This is very important that we understand this. A lot of people like to say that the Bible tells you what to think. But if you look at Jesus, he asked a lot of questions that would activate the truth in our life. And when Jesus is asking a question 3 times, I think it's time to lean in to this answer. It's time to lean in to what he's saying. This is a powerful moment that we need to understand the heart of Jesus. In verse 17, a 3rd time, he said to him, Simon, son of John, do you love me? Peter was hurt because Jesus asked him a 3rd time, do you love me? He said, Lord, you know all things. You know that I love you. Jesus said, feed my sheep. Peter got offended. He's like, God, dude, you know my thoughts, man. You've called us all out. I'm scared about what I'm thinking right now. You know everything. You know my heart. And Jesus responded for the 3rd time, feed my sheep. I think the problem is that culturally, like we hear what this is saying. You ever talk to your kids, or my wife feels this. Like she tells me something and I say yes, but she's like, I don't think you understood what I said. Right? I feel like We know what Jesus is saying, but culturally we do something different. We feel like Jesus is saying, do you love me? And he's saying, take care of yourself. Because culturally we're like, yeah, I go to church. I listen, I read my Bible. Awesome. You're taking care of yourself. But listen, what Jesus said is take care of my sheep. Take care of others. Take care of the lost lambs of God. Take care of them. Listen, we have to understand the heart of Jesus. And if we're here today, and we're a part of this body of believers, we're a part of what God is doing throughout this nation, we have to understand something. If we say we love God, we love his mission. If we love God, we love his mission. And we just have to understand that this is what we do. This is relationship one-on-one, right? If God is the greatest relationship that we will have in our life, and it should be, and that relationship is the compass of how we treat our wives and husbands, our kids, our neighbor, and everything around us. If you love God, you love his mission. You care for his mission. You pray for his mission. You sacrifice for his mission. Just like you sit down and listen to a band and watch a football game and go to the park and do things that you normally don't do. I go to fall festivals way more than I want to go. And I want to let you know something about these fall festivals. There's somebody carving something, never finishes it. But my wife likes going to fall festivals. And there's some fun fact about my wife. She's good looking. I'll go. Yeah, I'll go. I love woodchucks. Like this, I love $20 cider. It's great. Why? Because if we love God, we love his mission. It should be the heartbeat. It should be a part of us. It should be intertwined into our lives. Because this is the life Jesus lived. And this is the life Jesus told about. Because if you love God, you love his mission. I want to let you know, you have literally an amazing pastor. I've picked up the phone in difficult times, and he has advised me, challenged me, and walked me through those times. It's a pastor that has a heart for this town and for God's mission, right? And that heart is going to stretch us. That heart, like, right? We know this. You think I want to go to recite? I don't just go to these things. It's a sacrifice, right? We know how much these camps, and we know how much these outfits, and we know how much these things. I know how much it is to have my whole family walk into a fall festival and buy cider for all of them. I know. But if we love God, we love his mission. You understand what I'm saying? You do this on a regular basis. You need to apply it to the one who created you, the one who knows your soul, and the one who has molded your life and cares for you. Pastor Steve has a great vision for this. And we as a church should get behind what God is doing. Why? Because if we love God, we love his mission. If any kid walks into this church, he should be loved and cared for. We should be willing to always volunteer for any kids event, any youth event. They should have as much people as they need. The youth pastor, the children's pastor should be like, actually, we have too many volunteers. We'll schedule you 2 months in ahead. And you'll be like, I'll be there 2 months. Why? Because if we love God, we love his children. Where else should kids walk in and be loved and cared for? I hope it's the church. Where else should they see people that are willing to sacrifice and care for them? And you've done it. You've given to backpacks. You've given to school programs, right? You've given this vision to help feed kids through school programs here. And what? We should be a part of it. Why? Because if we love God, we love his mission. This church gives to missionaries. This church is going to be given to projects. This church is going to be given to all these things. And you know what? It's going to be a little bit stretching, but you know what? If we love God, we love his mission. For some of you, the Lord is stretching you to give. For others, the Lord is stretching you to give and to serve and to be a part of what God's doing. Because the heart of God is being projected. The heart of God is being shown through this body of believers. And the vision here is amazing. And when Steve connected and we talked about Feed One and he cast the vision, I'm like, man, I want our church to bless not only people in our neighborhood and in our area, but all over the world. And Feed One is doing that. Feed One is doing that. In fact, I got to go to Honduras with Feed One, and I got to see so many programs that they're doing, feeding kids. And literally, there's kids walking in that are malnourished so much that you can see their rib cage and everything. And they literally do a nourishment program that will help restore that child. And you see, like literally, you can see students that are after the nourishment program and they give them special vitamins and special foods that will help restore their body. And you see the changes of their lives. And the story, I have a picture of me and another pastor up there, and it's amazing. This pastor, Pastor Hector, he's out there. He's in Honduras. And the Lord gave him a vision for this area that's impoverished in Honduras. It's literally like, if you go to this area, you don't see anything. And the only way I can explain it is like out of the woods, people come out. I don't know where they come from. I literally don't know where they come from. But when we did a feeding program, all you saw was trees. And all of a sudden, you see 200 to 300 people. And this pastor, one day, the Lord gave him a vision to feed this neighborhood, to feed this area in Honduras. And he literally goes up there, hikes up there, and all he has is 3 rocks. Literally, he gathers 3 rocks, he puts a pot, and he puts rice and beans. And he cooks it there. And out of that pot, they just start feeding the kids, and the kids literally just come out of their houses that's in the woods and everything, and he just starts feeding them. And like he runs out of food, but the following week he goes up there and he gathers 3 rocks, he puts in a pot, he cooks, he shares the gospel, he tells people about Jesus, and he feeds them. And it literally just like some of the kids just got a little scoop because that's all they had to give to all the kids. Feed One finds out about this, partners up with pastor, all right, gives them the resources. Then they start feeding that neighborhood. They create a school that not only now they're feeding the kids, they're educating the kids. They create a business. They start making bread. They empower women to own a business and to feed the kids and to help subsidize. It's amazing what God's doing, because what Feed One does is partner up with local pastors and churches, not only to give food, but to spread the gospel of Jesus. 3 rocks and a pot. I saw him speaking with tears in his eyes. And the thing that echoed is like, this man not only loves God, but he loves his mission. And what Feed One does is literally they give the opportunity to feed kids across this country. And every $10 you give feeds a kid for a month. I see it with my own eyes. And what Convoy Hope is developing is literally a lot of this food and stuff like that is going to operate directly from their warehouse. And there will be opportunity to feed more kids throughout the world and throughout the country. And here's where it comes down to, there's actual stories and people. And I have a video of a story of this young lady that literally God transformed and God used through Convoy Hope's Feed One. And here it is, her story.
We are a family of 5 siblings. My mother is pregnant with her 6th child. Life has been very difficult for us. Our house is cramped and covered with just a plastic roof. We get soaked whenever it rains, and it is next to a smelly drainage. My father used to have a steady job, but now all he gets are small odd jobs. Some days he tries to sell packets of spices. All we had to eat was rice with salt and water. Sometimes we could add soy sauce. We live a difficult life. My husband worked long hours but could not earn enough. We could only afford to buy half or just a quarter of the amount of rice that we need. Sometimes my husband and I would not eat just so our children could. It was very hard. I feel sad and cry when I thought of my brothers and sisters. They had nothing to eat, and we often went to bed with empty stomachs. It is difficult because we could not sleep. I would lay awake at night, thinking of things to do to make money. The night is long when you cannot sleep. They can't withstand hunger. They would ask for more food, but we don't have any food left to give. It seemed nothing would ever change. But then it did. Rika was selected to be part of the children's feeding program with Convoy of Hope. Convoy of Hope helps us in so many ways. They give us food packs and groceries. From Monday to Friday, they serve rice porridge and egg. Sometimes fruit like bananas or fried fish fritters. We'll even have chocolate rice porridge. I'm happy for my brothers and sisters because we all have nutritious food. They give us enough for all of us to eat. The feeding program helps us so much without expecting anything in return. Convoy of Hope has helped the kids with their studies, provided blankets, thrown Christmas parties, and made sure we have what we need. Sometimes I volunteer so I can give back to the organization that has changed our lives. I want to be a teacher because I want to help the children in the streets who are just like me. Just keep going, keep fighting. As long as we're living, we can keep going. Convoy of Hope has changed my life. My family is much happier, and so am I. And now, I am able to sleep.
I've seen the changes with my own eyes. Not only does Convoy provide food, but as you can see, they provide education. They literally provide neighborhoods, ways they can do farming within in Honduras. They have 4 planting seasons, and they have gardens that literally feed the community. They teach them how to open up businesses, and they have ways. We met with a pastor who started a beekeeping business and helps provide, has employees, and literally has changed entire neighborhoods. But here's the deal. It only takes $10 to feed a kid. So up there, there's a QR code. You can pull out your phone. You can scan that QR code, and you can sign up through Convoy Hope to feed a child once a month. It's $10 a month, and you can be a part of that. My family does this. A bunch of students at Missouri State Chi Alpha does this. We are a part of that. God is moving. I challenge you guys to be a part of that giving. And what we're going to do when Pastor Steve comes up is that we're going to take up an offering, and we're going to be a part of what God is doing globally, because when we love God, we love his mission. And his mission for us, it's not just globally what Feed One is doing, but it's here in this neighborhood. It's here in your job. It's with your neighbors. And you know what? God's mission extends out to those things. And for some of you guys, you're being challenged to serve at this church and to be a part of what we're doing. And I encourage you to do that. And for some of you, God is challenging you to walk across the street to your neighbor's house and to connect with them and to share the love of Jesus. And yes, even if they're a grumpy neighbor. And for some of you, it's like, Andy, I don't really have a grumpy neighbor. You might be the grumpy neighbor. That might be you. But maybe in your job, God is calling you to walk in and to care for people and to be there. And hey, my wife made my favorite meal, and I told her to make extra just for you, to connect with people and to serve them. Why? Because if we love God, we love his mission. And here today, we have an opportunity to be a part of God's mission globally and to help kids and to impact families and neighborhoods and transform through Feed One. And I challenge you to be a part of that, to give a part of that, and to be the hands and feet of Jesus. Because if we love God, we love his mission. Pastor Steve.